Well, hello. Do you want to write hot, steamy, love and sex scenes? Well, you come to the right place. I've written quite a few. But let's go to the bookshelf to talk about it. After all, this is not that kind of video. Sex is a very charged topic. In today's society, we oftentimes look down upon or consider it as taboo. But I want that to change. I want us to be able to write sex scenes as much as we want in books, as long as it pertains to the story and the progression of the character plot and everything, of course, yes. But I want us to be able to write sex and not hold back just because we think that, oh, if I write a sex scene, my book will become porn all of a sudden. Sex is natural. You know what's not natural? Not like in this video. I have divided these sex scenes into 4 categories. And I will go through each one of them, and then I will tell you which one is my favorite. And then you can go out in the world and, go home and write your new sex scene as you want it. The first one, I call this one the cliffhanger. You get the foreplay, you get a build up of the sex scene, you set the mood and everything. And then when you're actually supposed to get into it, it cuts. That's the cliffhanger. We're gonna have sex and next chapter. And yeah, sure, it works a lot of the times. It works when you don't want the book to be about sex, when you just want the tension and then yes, they did it, let's move on. But I think it lacks depth, and you can get a build up, but then there's no funny word, climax. Talking about foreplay, here's another video that you might like. That was the greatest segue of the history of segues. Second one, the vague mist. This is the one where we actually get to read the whole sex scene and be part of it, but it's written in broad strokes. The vague mist is like when if you have a sex scene and then you place a mist in front of it, you can't really see everything. You can't make out the details, but you can make out the broad strokes, like what is happening. Oh, she's on top, he's in the bottom, they're like this and they're like this, but I can't see any of this. I can only see this. Great analogy, Linus. And this one is better for the relationship type centered books, or even if you just wanna write the sex and you want the dynamic between the people having sex, but you don't want to actually he grabbed her fat buttocks and she grabbed his long, thick, luscious. Number 3, the PG rated one. This is the one that's lowest on the list of taboo sex scenes and the raunchy sex scenes. This is the one where they kiss and then they cuddle, and then that's it. It's a lot like the cliffhanger, but instead of the build up, you just get oh, they kissed, they made out. It's the next day and you know they had sex, but the author hasn't given you the satisfaction of reading about them having sex. After all, I think we can all agree that sex is the most intimate connection between people, and not being able to write that, especially in a romance novel or something, similar with a lot of character development and where you focus on the relationships, that's just like putting a chain on your own leg, like binding your hands together and then telling someone to peel an apple. Sure, you can do it, but how the hell are you gonna do it fast? You can't just... It doesn't work like that, sorry. And then the last one, the whole package. This is the one that in the bottom starts with 50 shades, at least start with 50 shades, and then end up in softcore porn. As one would put in these days. The whole package is the one where you write from start to finish, just like you would in any character development chapter or anything like that. You write all of it, from the start, then the middle, and then through the end. How much you actually write and what words to use is of course up to you. I would not use the words big, luscious, juicy, even though we all know that's the one that gets the money. 50 shades. No, but the whole package really is just about giving the reader the details about what's happening. It's about showing the reader how two people can achieve that intimate physical connection with each other as detailed as possible. Don't have to make it into porn. You can write it beautifully, and you can use words that encourage the reader to think about what's happening. Descriptive words. You don't have to tell exactly what's happening. Where's the hand going? Where are the fingers going? What are the fingers doing? You can tell how the characters sense each other, how they smell each other, how they feel each other, how you can do similarities and you can flesh it out, ironically, into something beautifully detailed. But no matter what you do, keep it real, keep it grounded, stick to the characters. Don't go for sex just because you want to write sex. Like everything else, it has to have a place in your story. You can't just be like, oh, this is high fantasy and these are two people that have never met, but they actually feel like having sex. Bam! Sex scene. Pretty sure that could work somehow, but because it's sex and people like sex. But it's a lot better if you build up some tension between the characters and maybe they'll end up together later on or something like that. Or you can use the sex scene as like informational dump, because sex is pretty up there with attention grabbing, and then you can use that as leverage for something else later in the story. Give the sex some meaning in your story, just like everything else. And lastly, avoid cliche words. His thick, long, luscious yeah, that's not just going to work, is it? Instead, use descriptive words, like broad strokes, you know. Describe how he feels against her. Describe how the two guys touch each other in like a flowery or natural way. I don't know exactly because don't write in English, so I don't have the words. But describe it, always. Show, don't tell. Tell is for some places. Sex scenes are for show, I would say. So what's my favorite? Well, every type has its place, I feel, and I would write everything except the PG-rated one, because I don't like the kiss and cuddle. But if I have to pick one as my favorite, then I would choose the vague mist, because I feel that gives me the most opportunity to show what I want with the sex scene. Instead of just building up and stopping or explaining everything in detail, I can just give the reader the emotions that the characters are feeling. That's it. Go out and write your sex scene. If you use one of these types, please make sure to leave a comment and tell me how it worked and how you put it in your story. And if you find out any other types, then please write so below. I'd really like to know if there are other names for sex scenes that I have not thought of. That would be pretty funny. And remember to check out my character development series. Thank you. Bye.